Hi, Lois here. I'm going to read a letter to you that I received as the developmentalist, and then I'll read my response. Okay, so here goes. Here we go. Dear developmentalist, my friend Annette and I really enjoy talking together. When we meet up, both of us are eager to share what is going on in our lives, but we also enjoy listening and learning from the other person. Whenever one of us shares, the other is quick to ask follow-up questions and express genuine interest. There's an easy balance in our conversation, with neither one of us doing all the talking. We often comment that this is what makes us seek out the other's company. Today at lunch, our conversation turned to other people in our lives, people that we genuinely love, but that we find more difficult to spend time with. These people monopolize conversations, always turning the topic back to themselves and rarely asking questions of us. It strikes us as no coincidence that the people who display this tendency are often lonely and have trouble making friends. Even having made this observation, however, we are too cowardly to raise it with our friends because we're afraid of hurting their feelings. How might we become more courageous and intervene to help our self-absorbed friends become better conversationalists? Signed, Little Chickens, Marcus and Annette. So here's what I wrote back to Marcus and Annette. Dear Marcus and Annette, thanks for writing me to share your situation. It's so common to want to help friends or family, but feeling afraid to. I can imagine most readers nodding when they read your letter and remember situations like this they've been in. You see yourselves as cowards, but I don't. Rather, I see you as in the horns of a dilemma of your own making, but not your own fault. It's it's a classic. It's how we've been shaped and socialized to see and understand making choices. You're seeing yourself with two options, both of which could have bad outcomes. Do we tell our friends that we think they're self-absorbed and hard to be with, that they're creating their own loneliness? The risk here is that we will hurt their feelings. Or do we hold our tongues and carry on with them in conversations that are all about them? The risk here is that we will feel more and more distant, maybe even come to dread spending time with them. What if these aren't the only choices? What if you see the situation as an opportunity to develop yourselves and your relationships with your friends? What if you imagine yourselves confronting a developmental where you leave this way or that way behind, where you now have to stretch, where you now have to imagine other ways to see the situation that has you stuck in two choices, where you can now see and do other. Maybe you can create ways to give the relationship you two have with each other as a gift rather than as the right way to have a conversation. For example, you could say, I was talking with Annette yesterday, and she asked me a question I never would have asked myself. Her curiosity made me curious too. We made it into a game. I'd love to play that with you. You want to try? I imagine doing that might be fun. And I can think of other non-threatening, perhaps silly ways for you to invite new kinds of conversations. Maybe you initiate a curiosity game where you make up an invention, say a banana skin vacuum cleaner. You're the expert, and your friend has to discover what it is and how it works through asking questions. Use these suggestions to jumpstart your imaginations. Start playing. The key thing, as I see it, is not to confront your friend with how you see them, but to invite them into environments where they and you are doing something different. The so-called problem will vanish because you will see them differently. They will be performing not self-absorbed. Through you being courageous in this way, your friends have a shot at becoming better conversationalists. Developmentally yours, Lois.